Hello and welcome to Round Robin. I'm your host, Robin McCormick with the City of Hampton. And today we are going to focus on a very special week at the end of April. My guest is Hugo Morrison. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Now, you're with the, I'm going to see if I can say this right, Office of Youth and Young Adult Opportunities.
Yes, that is absolutely right.
So this Youth Violence Prevention Week is coming up, and you guys make it fun.
Yes. So Youth Violence Prevention Week is a week of activities and what we've coined as edutainment. So there's a bit of entertainment and a bit infused with education to make sure that the messaging gets across to all of our community. And as we celebrate one Hampton family, we like to, instead of just inviting you to come to us, we like to take it on the road and come to you. So there's different events that's happening in pockets of our community so that young people and their families can easily access the services.
So this is, part celebration. You're not just, don't do this, don't do this. Tell me some of the events you have going on.
Yes, so the week will feature what we call the Reunion of Hope. That will start the week off on that Sunday, the 21st. It will be at Gosnell Hope Park, and it is a fantastic celebration and in a day of remembrance. And so we want to remember those that have been impacted by gun violence, but we also want to celebrate success stories that we've been working with and young people as they change their life and the trajectory of their life and made different decisions. And then we want to wrap around services and resources that families can walk away with that day. So it is a big celebration in the park. It's like your backyard family reunion kind of cookout because we like to celebrate, again, the Hampton family being united. We'll move into Monday Night Hope Hampton football, and it is a fantastic way to celebrate Youth Violence Prevention Week. It's a 7-on-7 game, and teams will compete and head tap against violence. They also will make a pledge. So the players that are there are going to pledge to do something within our community. That'll be ongoing throughout the year. So we won't only just celebrate this one week, and it's the kickoff, but we'll also have intentional acts of kindness and intentional acts of how to prevent violence happening throughout the year. And these teams and players will sort of kind of lead that among their peer groups.
Oh, that's great.
And then later that week, on that Friday, of course, we will celebrate and culminate with our Gala of Hope. And so it is a way that we actually share the Hampton's mission, the story, why we do this work, and why it's important that we invite people to the table and have all the resources they need. One unique feature this year of Youth Violence Prevention Week is what we're calling the Mayor's Classic Hope After Dark. So we're inviting college students from all of our local colleges to come and be a part of this conversation to actually help us help them be safe in their campus, off their campus, in and around our cities, and what they're doing to address violence among their peer groups, and then how we can wrap services around them to ensure their safety as they move throughout our cities.
Well, and that's interesting, too, because people tend to think that it's juvenile violence, but an awful lot of it is young adults. So when we say youth, we mean really young people. Yes.
And so studies show, and the research is showing that while it is trending downward some, most of the activity that we're seeing happens between the 14 to 24-year-old category. And then there are some national models that are showing it's even trending down towards 11. But around here, what we've discovered is that 14 to 24-year-old, because we do study the numbers and we want to improve the perception of safety in our community. So we also get feedback from the larger community during this week to tell us, what areas of our city that we need to focus on, where you may feel safe, where you may not feel so safe, and then what we can do as a service-oriented and service providers to deploy services to those areas and to make sure that, every part of our city is livable, sustainable, and what we call playable. Because sometimes you got to put play in your day.
That's right. You got to be able to play.
Right.
Can't be solemn all the time.
Exactly.
So in our community, people have a perception that violence is increasing. And that's not true. That's not the facts. And it's not spread evenly across the community. There are pockets, and you are really focusing on statistics and identification and data to work within those groups.
Yes. I'm glad you said that, because this is something kind of our Achilles heel sometimes, but you're absolutely right. It is happening among a limited group of actors and their associates. While it may seem widespread, it really is contained. And so we're doing that we're addressing, which is our mission of Youth Violence Prevention Week, is to tackle disproportionate rates of gun violence happening among a limited group of actors and their associates, to minimize the loss of life, to reduce community trauma, and to increase trust in government. Because while we can't solve it ourselves, we are here to assist and aid, and to make sure that we do it together. It can't be them against us. It's all of us together.
Right. And trust in government also includes the police.
Yes.
And people feeling safe enough to talk to police and to help, tell what's going on in their neighborhoods.
Right. And so we want to create that through being even community policing and seeing police in a different light. So Youth Violence Prevention Weeks invite all of our partners to the table, so we get to infuse ourselves in our community and be true community partners.
And I think one of the things, obviously you are doing the work, so but the community at large might think gun violence means, the victim. But it impacts everyone around them. It impacts their parents, their siblings. It's the shooter. It's, those effects just ripple out into the community.
Right. It's been said that it impacts at least 15 people. One incident impacts at least 15 people. So when you think of it in those terms, and that could be, depending on how large the family is, of course, that could triple at any moment. And
right.
You have, not only the victim, then you have the perpetrator, you have their families on both sides. You have all of the medical.
Especially if they're known to each other,
Exactly.
which is usually the case. Then it's, it's the same community in a lot of ways, or similar.
Yes, and you have all of the first responders and all of the medical professionals that you got to consider. And even, if they unfortunately lose their life to that, then you have to add in all the services that has to be provided, whether it's a funeral director, whether it's a, faith-based service or not, or whomever in a community. So you have, that reducing of community trauma is what we're aiming at. And then we do this because it is a public health awareness that we need to make people aware that it doesn't just impact the victim, it is all of those that are going to be left behind. And in our office particularly gets involved if there's young people left behind, because then those younger people and their siblings of any kind, whether a blended family, whether traditional, whatever, any of the siblings that's left behind, we have to wrap around services around them to ensure, to reduce that retaliation mindset, as well as to make sure that they are able to cope with what they've just experienced.
Right, or if they've, people who have witnessed.
Right. Correct.
Yeah, you have a child who sees terrible things happening, and it changes their life. It is a huge trauma.
Yes.
So we are instead going to focus on not having that trauma and committing to work to prevent violence, and we're going to have fun doing it.
So I invite everybody to log on to hampton.gov/hopefulhampton. Get registered. All of the events are free and open to the public. If you register soon, you'll be able to receive a free T-shirt. There's going to be all types of goodies, all types of giveaways, lots of resources and fun. There'll be, anywhere from the Reunion of Hope all the way up to the gala. We'll be celebrating that entire week, along with getting you the resources at your front door. So it's happening in pockets of our community. And so join us either at one or all.
Well, and it takes away some of the stigma to go to a fun event, to go, I'm not going to turn down free food. It's a great thing to do, and to be a part of the bigger community.
Absolutely. And if you can't make it there, which we hope you will, but if you can't make it there, the Office of Youth and Young Adult Opportunities, we're located at 1 South Mallory Street, and we're always seeking opportunities to work with our families. And so if you can't get to Youth Violence Prevention Week, you certainly can reach us so that we can help wrap around services. Exactly.
That sounds wonderful. Well, Hugo, is there anything you want to add before we close?
I don't. I just look forward to seeing everyone at the Youth Violence Prevention Week, happening again April 21st through the 26th in our great city of Hampton.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I hope you will join us that week. It is important that we all embrace the community together, that we work toward a reduction of violence, which also means just working toward better outcomes and safety for everyone in our community. Thanks for watching.